In today's video, I want to talk about how love is not an emotion. Before I go there, let me just quickly introduce myself. If you're new to my channel, well, it's relatively a new channel. My name is Rob Durlich, and I grew up as an ultra-conservative American Christian, as conservative as you can be. My mother, to her last breath, would never wear a pair of pants, wore a skirt because she had to be modest. There was no TV in the home. This is the kind of conservatism I grew up in. And of course, with that came the mandates of what I was supposed to believe, how I was supposed to believe it, how I was supposed to walk on this earth and act. I strayed from a lot of that. I've come to discover many new things about spirituality that I didn't know before. I've been through a lot of pain, and I've come out the other side with a deep sense of spiritual freedom. So I create these videos to show you, to walk through a lot of things that I've had to walk through. And I hope that if you're searching, that if you're seeking to awaken to something that's more freeing, but you still want to hold the spirituality, you're not ready to give that up, but religion no longer is serving you, no longer is holding the place it used to hold. These videos are for you. And today I want to talk about love, because love is the most misunderstood thing, I think, on our planet. For centuries, we've been trying through the arts to discover what love is, to explain it. And we do that many times through story, through poetry, through plays, back when we didn't have technology. And now through movies, through books, through music. What is love? What is the absence of love? What's the heartbreak of love? What's the discovery of new love? We're always wrestling with this idea of love. And I've been in relationships where I've tried to describe how I felt to love somebody, or I've received that conversation, how someone loves me. And it's always been just slightly confusing because most of the time when I've interacted with these conversations, it's always been around the emotions that I'm feeling. But love has always been something in the back of my mind that's felt deeper than emotions, and I've struggled with it. But I came to a conclusion that we've gotten it all wrong. Love is not an emotion. Love is an energy. See, the universe is made up of energy. That's quantum physics has described that. We can look at matter. We do perceive it as solid objects, things we can touch, feel with our senses. But when we break down the quantum mechanics of what's behind this desk, this microphone, even the camera that's recording this, it's mostly empty space made up of energetic particles. Everything is energy. And so is love. Love is an energy system of our universe made by God because God is love. And I won't go too far into that on this particular video. But love is an energy that flows. And this energy of love triggers our different emotions that we have. And that's where we get all confused with it. Because when we get into a new relationship and we say, I love you for the first time, our hearts are fluttered. It's a euphoria that we feel. It's happiness and bliss and joy. But that same person that once told us they loved us cheats on us, breaks our heart, says they no longer love us. They've drifted away. Our hearts break. We might get angry, sad, bitter, resentful, hateful, maybe even just apathetic. These emotions are triggered whether love is flowing into our life or whether it's been restricted, because love requires somebody else to exchange it with. See, it's an energy. We're exchanging love in a relationship with somebody. And right now I'm framing it around a romantic relationship. Of course, we have friends that we love, but we're not romantically in love with them because love is energy that flows and it evolves to the type of relationship that it is and triggers those particular emotions for that particular relationship. It's an energy that we exchange between people, between even animals. We love our pets. They, of course, love us. And sometimes this is very intuitive. One of the things that dogs are known for is this unconditional love. Unless the animal's being abused, they absolutely love you no matter who you are. No matter what you've done in life, this animal will always greet you at the door, wagging their tail. It's a flow of energy between living things because we were created to love. So I don't want to go too far down this topic, other than just to plant this seed for you to think about what is love, because I think this is something that you have to ask. This is a question that you have to answer. How is love in your life? Is it an emotion? Is that all it is? Or is it something deeper? Is it something that you're trying that sparks something deeper in your heart? And think about how love has flowed in your life, triggering positive emotions, triggering negative emotions, heartbreak, joy, ecstasy, euphoria. All the variants back and forth that relationships and this word love does. Look at the movies we create. Look at the songs we create. Some songs are about love, but they're rage. Other songs are about, you're the only one for me. It's such a gamut of emotions around this thing called love. But when we break it down as an energy that we can exchange between living things, especially human to human, we start to understand more of its mystery, more of its deepness, more of the reasons why it can vex us so much. It can enwrap us so much because it is the most fundamental energy that we have. Sometimes, and there's still people in the world that are still hindered because they're looking to remain safe. They're looking to make sure they don't die the next day. Food, shelter, and physical safety. But even then, history is filled with these stories of great suffering and affliction, even fearing for your life. And yet love comes out of these because we know this love story of the protector. The protector comes and saves somebody, and there's love that gets exchanged both ways because love wants to protect and love asked to be protected because it's energy. And it triggers these different emotions in different situations and through different parts of our lives as we evolve through the different stages of life. It changes from person to person, from stage to stage. Because it's an energy that flows through the different conditions of our heart as our heart is opening and closing, maturing, etc. It's what we do. We open up our hearts for love, and then when we get hurt, we close it back down again. And we're more careful, we're more cautious, and then we seek to control it more. I'm not going to pick that person as a romantic partner, but I'm going to structure it and engineer it to only get this kind of person that will respond to me in this particular way. We try to restrict it and change it, make sure we don't get hurt. We get as much love as we can without being vulnerable to the other side of it. Because it's an energy. It's an energy that we can play with, we can manipulate, we can use to abuse somebody with. This is why it's not an emotion. It's tangible. And yet the biggest mystery I think that we humans can experience. So this isn't a video to really give you great answers and give you absolutes. It's a video to spark your imagination, to spark your thoughts on what love means to you. Because really, at the end of the day, no matter if you agree with my understanding of love or if you still feel it's an emotion or you feel it's just a biological response of chemicals in your body in order for us to find people, to procreate, and it's just simply biological. We have to understand that love is massively important to the human race. I think we all would agree on it. Maybe some of us don't like that fact because we're trying to shut it off, but we'd all agree. It's massively important. And so the question here is, how is love in your life? Is it flowing? Is it something that you try to restrict? Is it something you try to control? Is it something that you're just apathetic towards because you've been hurt so much? Or are you open to it? See, spirituality, if you go back to my first video, what is spirituality? It's about connection. Connection firstly to ourselves, then to others, then We can open up to the universe, to God, and the big, expansive, esoteric nature of all things. But at first, it's to ourselves. Love has to flow into our own hearts, and we can even close that off, and to other people. See, it's love that is the connection point. Spirituality is about connection, but love is what's being exchanged. So I want you to think about that. I'll leave you with that. And the prayer is that you open up your heart more for love, to the flow of it, to the vulnerability of it, to the understanding of its mystery, that it's more than just an emotion. It's really a state of existence that we can tap into, or we can say, hell no, I want nothing to do with that. But when we do that, we close ourselves off. We close ourselves off from the beauty that love is. The beauty that's been talked about for centuries, been described, the artists have portrayed. Let's all find love, whether that's romance, partnership, that's for life, or that's in friendship, that's in work relationships, that we seek the deeper depth of it, the commitment of love, that it's deeper than emotions, because emotions will come and emotions will go. And we can ride that. And this is why a lot of relationships fail. They're in love, then they're not in love, because the emotions go up and down, and it's factored by many, many other things going on. But love, when it's deeper, when it's understood as a flow, can evolve to become commitment, perseverance, steadfastness. And that becomes an absolute thing in our life. Committed to love. No matter how it feels. No matter how it's hurt us. Knowing that it's ultimately the connection point between us and everything in the world. Let's open to love. That's the prayer. Open to love. Open to the energy. Open to the flow. Our hearts are the gateway. We can close it or we can open it up.